Hey there, YouTube. I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope the week is going well for you. Shooting this on a hump day here in South Alabama, and yeah, the year's off to a pretty good start. Haven't been quite as active as I wanted to be with sharing some stuff on social media because I'm having a little flare up of that stuff I've talked about in the past in my rib cage, but anyhow, that's not going to stop me. Today we're going to talk about raw vegan diet weight loss in 2022 and how to stop yo-yo dieting. Guys, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, why don't you go down there now and hit that red subscribe button, then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. I've talked about weight loss in the past. I'm sure I'll talk about weight loss in the future. And the number one thing I get frustrated with is people watch me, they're watching my channel, they're looking at my social media, but people will write to me and ask me to help them lose weight not my way. I don't know how to, I feel like I'm handcuffed. Like somebody will say, well, can you help me with weight loss after watching one of my videos or seeing something I put out on social media? And it's like, can you help me? But I don't eat bananas. I don't do this. I don't do that. I can't have this. I can't have that. Guys, I'm very much experience-based and not like Mr. Book that can tell you, well, okay, substitute this for this and that. I know what has worked for me. I know I have the principles that I use and that I like to share have just been by trial and error over close to the last 10 years. And, you know, like I say, I'm not saying I'm the only person that can help you lose weight. In fact, maybe I can't help you lose weight, and maybe somebody else will resonate with you more. And don't get emotional about it. People get so emotional when it comes to weight loss. Emotion has no place when it comes to your health. It either is or isn't. Sorry. So, you know, like different people resonate with different people, so no harm, no foul. One thing I want to say too is another thing that I get when people tend to send me messages or ask me things or even make comments sometime is like they want to give me their special circumstances. And like you longtime followers know, I look at the whole animal kingdom, and one of the most popular things to say, and I've heard ever since I've been on this lifestyle and watch videos and consume content, is, well, everybody's different. Everybody's different. But are we really that different? Why are we the only species? Okay, yes, we're a little bit more civilized and we have bad habits that animals don't. But if we eliminate these, why are we so different than any species on the planet? I'm sure there's one, and there will be that person that can pull the one exception, but I don't think there's any animals out there that are overweight except for, domesticated animals, animals that are owned, and animals that are fed by some human and their portions are controlled. Other than that, animals, they just eat what they're supposed to eat, and they eat the amount that they should eat. Another thing I like to say over and over and over, so I'm going to use one of my cliches here: the cleaner you eat, the more you can eat. And the more you can eat, the more you're going to be satisfied. And the more you eat and the more diverse you eat, it makes it more likely that you're going to get all the nutrition you need, all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the different macros that you need. So people have a hard time thinking like that. And they have it, like, a lot of times people that let's go back to the people that, with the special circumstances that, well, it's very hard for me to lose weight due to this, high thyroid hormones, blah, 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 blah. And once again, don't take me literally. I'm not saying there's nobody that's not the case for. I'm just saying in general, I think what happens a lot of times is as humans, we are very impatient. And we want it now. We want it immediately. And we see these stories of so-and-so lost 10 pounds the first week they were on a diet. Nobody really loses 10 pounds in a week. That's water weight. So people don't lose weight fast enough, or maybe they have a couple of weeks where they don't lose any weight, and they get discouraged and they give up. And then they reinforce their story. Well, it didn't work for me. Well, it didn't work for you likely because you didn't do it long enough. It is a very simple, it's not even a formula. A formula would be having to really think hard and do this in specific orders and do this and do that. Eat fruit, eat greens, keep your fat low. If you're not eating fully raw, if you're not eating raw at all, eat whole food plant-based. Eat whole food, plant-based, and keep it clean. And I have my notes down here as usual. And when I say that, don't just like eat whole food, plant-based, cut out the processed food, cut out the salt, cut out the sugar, as in processed sugar, table sugar, refined sugar, sugar that is in processed food mostly, and cut out the oil. If you were listen, raw, not raw, raw, cooked, if you're eating a whole food plant-based diet and eating the things that you should be doing, and you're doing the salt, oil, sugar-free, that's basically doing the things like Caldwell Esselstyn, Dr. Greger, like so many of these resources teach themselves, and they're not even talking about the raw. But when you get into the raw, and especially if you're eating fully raw, it's just very hard to keep weight on, as I've gone on over and over and over and over. And that's no kind of, somebody said one time, well, you're bragging. No, I'm not bragging. I'm not a naturally thin person. I was fat as a kid. Yes, I was born in 1964. We said fat. I was a fat kid. I wasn't big boned. I wasn't large. In fact, I bought Husky pants. Husky don't exist anymore because that hurt somebody's feelings. As I lost weight when I was about 13 years old. I wasn't like a big fat kid. I was probably kind of skinny fat throughout high school. Got into lifting weights a lot. Lifted weights a lot in college, and overate. I just that was back in the days where you just lifted as heavy as you could and ate as much as you could of anything you could. I had no nutrition whatsoever. So at my highest in college, I was 245 pounds. And over the years, as I slowly came down from that, long before I got into a health thing, I just took the weight off. It was difficult. It was like everybody else out there that says, oh God, I think I'm eating the right things and I don't lose weight, and I'd have to go to the gym every day, do that cardio, what have you. At 48 years old, this was the first diet, lifestyle, health thing I tried that all of a sudden it just clicked. It clicked from day one. I started losing weight, and I really, looking back, I didn't know anything about what I was doing in the other early days. And looking back, I was losing weight and shouldn't have been losing weight. I was at a pretty good weight the day that I came to raw, because I had already been doing some healthy things 6 months prior to that had dropped my weight. And even though I wasn't vegan at the time and wasn't even looking to anything vegan, I had naturally dropped a lot of the animal products, and the weight had just come down. What I'm getting at is I could have been kind of a swole 180 pounds at raw, and I wasn't fat. In fact, I had a six-pack at 180. But anyhow, that's really all it took, was just was eating the right foods and doing it every day, every day, every day. I wasn't even thinking about losing weight, and that's something that I like to I know it's tough, especially when you have a lot of weight. Like when you're talking to people that have, say 75, 100 pounds more, I get it. You're really anxious to get that weight off. And when I say don't even focus on the weight, you're just looking at me like I'm crazy. But if you will focus on your health, focus on the health instead of just what I'm eating today to lose weight. But if you think about I'm eating every day to make my body as healthy as possible, it's just, it works differently in the mind. There's just not this obsession with, portions and this and that. And that's another thing too. People ask me about portions, how much I use this and that. I haven't found that necessary. I can eat all the food. Like I say, I'm never hungry unless I'm lazy. Sometimes at night, maybe I haven't eaten quite enough and I'm a little bit hungry, but I don't get out of bed to fix food. But there are some great resources out there if you're transitioning, if you're not fully raw yet, if you're not trying to go fully raw. I like to always recommend Forks Over Knives. They put out a magazine 4 times a year. I just saw a new one out this morning. I shared on Instagram. I'm going to share some of that. I'm going to share that particular resource on my Facebook page, which is in the description below. And I'm on this week, this inflammation willing, I'm going to share some more information on weight loss. But don't get so caught up in the weight loss thing and make it this big thing, separate from your health journey. It's all about your health. Most people out there that are that 75 or 100 pounds overweight or more, you didn't get there overnight, and you're not going to necessarily, get back overnight. Just as long as you're moving forward, and you're going to have weeks under the best circumstances, no matter how much, how little you're eating, you're going to have peaks and plateaus. You're going to have weeks where you don't lose any weight. You might have a week even where you gain a pound. But if you just look at it over the course of a long time, look at it as a marathon, not a sprint, you can do it. And don't turn your nose up at those small numbers, because like I say, they add up. 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 3 pounds here, 1 pound there, 2. Let's say you average being able to lose 2 pounds a week over the course of a year. That's 100 pounds. That's okay. It's a year. But how old are you? How long have you been overweight? So if you really think about that, and then people will see like, oh, I think, is it my imagination, or so-and-so slimming down a little bit there? And the last thing, and I'll finish with that, is when you're losing it at that rate, you're going to be more solid when you get there. You're going to tend to have less of the saggy skin, less of the, slack muscles. Add a little bit of movement, a little bit of exercise in there, and that's a good plan for losing 100 pounds. Taking a full year to do it, but anyhow, that's just my 2 cents worth. I like to keep it simple. I'm sure a lot of you out there have already purchased a plan for the year, or the next great program or whatever. Or maybe you're doing the juice feast or fast. And if you are, God bless. If and when you flip back and are eating some bad stuff again, pop on back over to the channel. I'll still be here. Hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you here again at the end of the week. Peace.